The year is 2019. And did you know Skrulls have infected the Battle Realm? And I bet you're like, Rich, we know Skrulls are in Marvel Contest of Champions. We've got one in game. He's called Super Skrull. But did you know before then, there was actually another Skrull that was in MCOC? So welcome to a rare champion, unplayable champion, secret champions video. Catch the ongoing series, which is the link is in the description, or check out the playlist that's on the main channel page. For some of you that are new to the game, and for those that might have forgotten, Skrull was already in Marvel Contest of Champions. This tied into a very special event. This was the Battle Realm Under Siege event. I believe this was an event to tie in with the release of the Captain Marvel movie. So, hey, Skrulls had to be a thing because Skrulls were mentioned in that movie. But there was a design of a champion that's similar to previous times that we've covered these secret rare champions. We thought we might be getting in some sort of capacity, even because this champion appeared in the game files. Now, this is great in any case because it really played into the dynamic of Skrulls being in the underbelly of the game, which is something we're going to come back to based on a response by Gabriel Frazera, who was the former creative director for Marvel Contest of Champions. We've also got gameplay of Skrull in action, which is really exciting. So March 2019 is where we saw Skrull. In any kind of capacity, this character was, well, not a lot of us knew what this particular champion was used for, but it was modelled and made nevertheless. For those curious, this is the champion in action, and I'm kind of unsure as to what kind of movements it has. It looked like for a moment they had some sort of, well, not Groot abilities. I think it was like Agent Venom. I'm not 100% sure with their heavy attack side of things. But its movements, I kind of thought that this would be something that would be created. I mean, look, these are champions in action. They look like they're kind of very Skrull-like, but very much kind of thrashing in movement. That kind of jump up bit when it was like the last medium looked like it was something new. But again, it could have been something that Kabam had ideas for, but decided not to. I mean, that looks like Carnage. Maybe it's Carnage. Oh, they modeled it on the Carnage abilities or Carnage movements. So that's kind of the model for it. But very interesting nevertheless. This video exists on MCC Mod's channel. It's a very old video. Well, not very old, but you know, like a month goes by in MCC, it just feels like a dot. This is actually 4 years ago. It's still ultimately confusing as to this champion's purpose within this particular quest back in 2019, and it's difficult to give any kind of clear-cut reasons. It wasn't a boss champion, which old Human Torch was in previous shows, if you've seen that. So it's really mysteries. There's also further mysteries when it comes to Skrulls versus Squirrels. Back a couple years ago, there was an event called Skrulls versus Skrulls. I mean, you can see the Skrulls now revealing themselves in this motion comic of that particular time. This was to introduce Squirrel Girl. Oh, and Nova was the second champion. I've completely forgot about that. But yeah, it was Squirrel Girl and Nova. For those interested in Super Skrull and all this, February 25th, 2021. In any case, where does Skrull factor into that particular quest? We've learned about the 2019. What about the 2020? Well, January 2020 saw an event where there was definitely dialogue pop-up for Skrull. So again, it goes back to lead me to believe that this particular character is being used or had been used for some sort of dialogue pop-up, similar to Old Man Logan, similar to the Wolverine X-Force version, which we covered in the first episode of the show. Funny enough, recently there was a discussion about Skrull with a few players, and there was some really cool insights from Gabriel Frazera. We mentioned that briefly, and something we'll refer back to. So they all can only shapeshift into a single champion. The collector got the discount Skrulls. So these are basically what we're talking about when we saw that Battle Realm motion comic, Battle Realm Under Siege one a moment ago. Now I just want to read you an excerpt from an interview with Gabriel Frazera on the subject, and going further to the notion of Skrulls are in the contest, or they're all Skrulls in the contest. Of the things we always wanted to have in a game is Skrulls. So when I saw they were actually using Skrulls in a movie, yes. But then I came back to the team Skrulls, and they were like, shape-shifting? How are we going to do shape-shifting in game? Because it is the only thing we have never done. we always have new technologies written, like when we did Dr. Octopus, we didn't have technology to have more than 2 arms. So we had to develop that. So every time there is a new challenge like that, I make a lot of people in the office get scared, but with Skrulls and shapeshifting in general is the last frontier, because you cannot load more than 2 characters in a fighting game for memory problems. But with shapeshifting, it has the potential to load every single character in the game. So we always stayed away from that. We have never done Mystique, for example, but now we are in the Skrull mode and thinking how we can do this. How can we make Skrulls in game and try hard to make them, since the only thing they do is shapeshift? That is a challenge, but we have to do it. Other than that, you can expect, we always do a lot of cool X-Men events, and it goes on, but it doesn't cover some of these elements of Skrull, and this particular Skrull. Not Super Skrull, because that's a different Skrull, this Skrull. So this Skrull, I believe, was created in order to be a pop-up for an animation of dialogue, similar to X-Force version of Wolverine. When you look at the likes of old Human Torch, that's a little bit different in that that was a boss. So this is something I think was similar, but it had and was fully created. Whether or not they created a full model of Wolverine and X-Force version, and it wasn't able to be hacked to play, Skrull had been hacked, or it could be, you could hack in to play it. This, of course, is the reason that we see this version being used in this particular video. What is your thoughts on Skrull and this particular secret and rare champion, which never saw the light of day to be played and still remains a mysterious, unplayable character? Put it in the comment section down below. That's been a video. Thanks for watching this series. Check out more videos and maybe more from this series on the main channel page, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.